Welcome to the Village Board meeting, the last Village Board meeting of 2020. Today is Monday, December 28th, Village Board, the Village of Pleasantville. Meeting as we have for months and likely will for some weeks to come via Zoom. You can always pick up the Zoom links for this board's meeting and the meetings of other boards at our website at pleasantville-ny.gov. Within a relatively short number of days, you can pick up an on-demand webcast of the recording, both of this regular meeting and the work session that preceded it at pctv76.org. Couple of announcements to make, and then we have a relatively short agenda tonight. The first is a sad report that Tony Emerson, lifelong resident of Pleasantville, passed away this past weekend. Tony was 89, had been in ill health in recent months, but really her entire life was a major figure here in the village of Pleasantville. And in her retirement years after a career at IBM and a retirement career as a real estate agent and service as president of the Westchester County Board of Realtors, she was an energetic and tireless volunteer for the Lions Club, the Pleasantville Farm Market, for the Chamber of Commerce. In her later years, she lived in the country club and was president of the Homeowners Association there. I can tell you that no more lasting memory of Tony for me is the annual appearance at the Pace University Relay for Life, which Pace students annually have done to raise money for the American Cancer Society. And the Pleasantville Lions Club was a sponsor. And one of the things they did, heavily organized by Tony, was a catered meal in the Pace gym for both cancer survivors and their families. She was there every single year, dragging trays of lasagna, whatever it might be. And that was Tony. When something needed to be done, she was there, even in circumstances where other people would have been slowed down by age or some infirmities. That wasn't Tony. And so we will miss her very much. As of the moment, there are no services planned because of the grim COVID world, but it is my privilege to remind the folks of what an extraordinary member of this community she was, and I'm hopeful that in better times there may be an opportunity to do so more broadly and with a broader group. Which leads me, as we talk about COVID restrictions, to two important points. One is, as we have mentioned recently, the COVID numbers are not just spiking, but skyrocketing in the village of Pleasantville. I can report that the county provides a daily list that took a pause over the Christmas break. So between December 24 and the list we got that was effective December 27, we had 23 new positives. And our total number of active cases, which means the total number of people in the village of Pleasantville who have had a positive COVID test within the last 14 days, rose to an all-time high today of 59. So I just can't emphasize enough that anybody who thinks that COVID is not around here in the village of Pleasantville isn't paying attention. The numbers are higher than they have ever been. They are well over double what we saw in the peak in the spring, and they are crossing all neighborhoods and all age groups. So please exercise extraordinary care, maintain social distance, wear a mask whenever you're outside, wash your hands, and most importantly of all of that, try to avoid group settings. With the holidays and New Year soon to come, I know how hard that is, but a group setting with 5 or 10 or more folks who are not in your immediate family means that your exposure has been dramatically increased, and the risk of further cases in the village of Pleasantville then grows. Obviously, all of this presents great risk to our restaurants, to our businesses, to our school district, to the central goal to keep our economy operating even on only a few cylinders, and to keep the kids in school when the holiday break is over. So I implore you to follow all these guidelines and pay attention. Vaccines are coming, as you are reading in the press. Folks in healthcare and in high-risk communities are starting to receive them. Hopefully, the phase 2, next distribution, phase 3 and phase 4 are not too long in the future. It seems that the reasonable advice is that the average member of the public who does not have a specific risk factor may not see a vaccine until the summer. And further, those folks who have vaccines, especially when they have the first dose and not the second, are not invulnerable. They can still be a carrier. And so get the vaccine, but still practice all of those guidelines. The county executive had a report today that there are a number of vaccine scams flying around out there with folks being presented with options to buy a vaccine, to divulge information in order to get on a list. None of those things are accurate, and you should view with extraordinary skepticism any such request. But lastly, here we are, the last meeting of 2020. Hopefully, all of us in the village of Pleasantville can look forward to 2021 as a year when we'll come out of this cloud we have been under and finish next year in 2021 all together. So on behalf of the entire village, the board, and the entire staff of the village of Pleasantville, we wish everybody a great holiday season and a fervent wish for a good new year. Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, sure. The village elections are Tuesday, March 16th. Tomorrow is actually the first day that you can have nominating petitions signed. The last day is February 9th. Anybody who's interested in running, you can contact the Westchester County Board of Elections. You can contact Eric Morrissey, who's on this call, or any of the rest of us on the board, and we'd be happy to help you. I personally have my term ending the next year, and I will announce whether I'm going to run again at the next meeting. So please be involved and please vote.
Thank you for that, David. My term is also up, and my position is up for re-election, and I'll make a similar announcement in January.
Peter, the Pleasantville Strong has gone through a candidate process, and they've selected a new coordinator, and that is Laura Moore. So we thank her for her work, and we hope she has a nice opportunity in Pleasantville Strong to present it with the right kind of fervor that it typically has. So thank you.
Great news, and as those of you who watched our meeting last time know, the Pleasantville Strong grant was renewed, which was expected, but not over till it's over. That was happy news. I know that the interview process to replace Nicole Malgarinos, who had moved on to a job with Student Assistance Services and will still be at least loosely in our realm. The interview process was led by Shane McGaffey, who's the new chair of Pleasantville Strong, Eric Morrissey, Mary Fox Alter. Have I got the right cast of characters?
And Noreen.
And Noreen. Right. So good news, happy news that we have a new coordinator in place. And just to remind folks, the village is the fiscal agent for the Pleasantville Strong enterprise. It is run by the steering committee, and the funds to pay the coordinator and to pay for the programs come from a federal grant. So, all right, other announcements? All right, two other things I had to say. One of them is As I mentioned the last time, we've had many responses to the survey about the Pleasantville Pool that went out through our Pleasantville Pool Task Force led by Troy Tassier, a group of a dozen or more folks who are part of a task force to convened by the village board to look at the future of the pool, recognizing the fact that the age of the pool has made clear to us that we're probably looking at a complete overhaul of either the existing pool or a complete replacement of it. And Troy and the volunteers who are assisting him are digging into that in lots of different ways, but have also sent out a survey that I think we were up near 1,000 responses. Have I got that right? Pretty darn close. So thanks to all of the folks who responded to that. And come the new year, you'll start to see some reports coming back from our task force about the various ideas they have and the assemblage of the data that came out of the survey. And then the last thing I wanted to report is, as we've commented in the past, obviously this isn't a year when the Pleasantville Farm Market can go inside to the middle school where it normally lives for its winter market. So the Pleasantville Farm Market is continuing outside in its Memorial Plaza location all winter, largely on a pre-order basis. So if you go to the Pleasantville Farm Market website, starting on Tuesday night and closing on Thursday night, you can order whatever you're interested in getting from all of the participating vendors, pay for it once, and then you come to the market on Saturday morning and pick it up already prepackaged, prepaid for at each of those vendors. So it's a great opportunity to support the market, which depends on its activity in the winter in order to survive, and a great opportunity to support the vendors and farmers who depend in the same way on winter activity in order to survive. So get thee to the farm market website on Tuesday night through Thursday night and place a pre-order. With that, is there any comment?
Yeah, I was just going to say perhaps we could mention the 2 upcoming police reform meetings.
Yes, I had that on my list. Eric, you want to report those dates? I forgot to get to that.
Sure. We've identified January 14th, which is a Thursday at 7:30. And that public forum will cover police training and complaint and review procedures. 2 weeks later, Thursday, January 28th at 7:30, we'll have another public reform, police reform public forum. And that will cover community policing practices, general outreach and communications, and outreach to specific communities. So January 14th and January 28th.
And those will be posted on Facebook and the website, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
And let me remind folks, if you go to our website at pleasantville-ny.gov, on the homepage, scroll down on the left side, just under the headline Pleasantville Posts, which is the spot where our newsletters appear, is the Police Reform Initiative. And you can click into that and see not only the information about the upcoming events, but also the videos of the 3 meetings we've held so far. The presentation made by Chief Grutzner at the December 16 meeting about the use of force and de-escalation policy, our current use of force policy, as well as the New York State workbook that was given to all communities in New York with the requirement that we undertake this process. So all that information at pleasantville-ny.gov, left column, scroll down. All right, thank you for that. Any comments from the public on any subject? There being none, is there a motion to open the public hearing on introductory local law 7 of 2020 to extend the validity of outdoor business permits past December 31, 2020?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome to the public hearing. Eric, you want to just report what's going on here? We talked about it at our last meeting as well.
Yep, sure. So this is pertaining to outdoor retail and outdoor food service. COVID brought about that need. We earlier in the year passed a local law that enabled permitting process through the building department that allows retailers or restaurants to operate on our right of way, the village right of way, or essentially in violation of their site plan approval, have outdoor dining or outdoor retail, for example, taking part of their parking lot and opening it up for restaurant seating. Obviously, the intent is not to enable this forever, but given the circumstances that lay before us, that was the intent of the local law. It expires at the end of this year, and we're looking to extend it through October 31st of 2021, which we believe and hope will bring us through, the last of COVID and the outdoor dining and retail season of next year.
All right. Is there any comment? I mean, we had a conversation in work session about this the last meeting, and I think what's proposed largely arose from that. Any further comment from any member of the board? Any comment from a member of the public? All right. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. The public hearing is closed, and this matter appears as resolution number 259 at the end of our agenda tonight. So I'm going to share my screen now so you can follow along with the agenda. All right. Let's see. Thinking about the sequence. Nicole, number 253.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the regular meeting held on December 14th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
So as always, you can click into our agendas, which you can get to via the meeting list at pleasantville-ny.gov. You can click into the minutes, which are, as they always are, a summary of what happened. And now in the world of Zoom, you can click into the word-for-word transcript, including every but, and a few misspellings, if you are so inclined. Any comments or corrections on the minutes for December 14? They're being done. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. David, 254.
I think it's me, Peter.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Joe.
Hold on. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the donation of $50 from Lynn and Yuki Gordon to the operation and services of the Clinton Street Center as attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this yet another generous gift from folks who have appreciated all that goes on down at the Clinton Street Center on behalf of our seniors, and we very much appreciate not only the support but the spirit behind it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Now, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the resignation of the following part-time employee: Suzanne Cohen, title immediate clerk, part-time available, from the Justice Court, resignation date September 5th, 2019. Is that right? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And Jesus Oliveros, intermediate clerk, part-time available, Justice Court, resignation effective March 6, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is an administrative cleanup. These were folks who were on-demand hourly employees?
Correct, for the court.
Right. All right. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Back to Nicole, 256.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments for fiscal year ending 2021 as listed below. Budget transfers in the general fund, $5,714 from contingent to Village Hall cleaning. Budget transfers in the refuse fund, $472 from contingent to judgments and claims refund 2019-2020 refuse tax.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the first item, I assume, is the continuing fallout from our various sewer backup problems.
You would think, but no. It's we've just signed the new contract for janitorial services, so we're reflecting what that new contract will bring us to in the for the remainder of the fiscal.
Right. So that's happy news that it's not related to our sewer backup.
Right, but we're knocking on wood.
Right. One of the perils of living in an older building, as many of us know, living in older houses, is every now and again something happens, and it has. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 257, Joe.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the abstract for payment of claims dated December 28th, 2020 for fiscal year 2021, covering check numbers 99086 through 99142 and 99144 through 99170. From the General Fund, $82,650.03. From the Water Fund, $17,987.26. From the Capital Fund, $5,558.04. And from the Refuse Fund, $11,609.61, for a total of $117,804.94, and all as the claims are attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the payment of claims? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. David. David. 258.
Dog.
Can I do the one from Hamlet instead of this?
You can summarize as further stated. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas both travel-related and community contact transmission of COVID-19 have been documented in New York State and are expected to continue. And whereas on December 18th, 2020, Governor Cuomo signed an executive order 202.83 to temporarily suspend subdivision 7, 7A, and 8 of section 459C, the New York State real estate property tax law exemption for persons with liabilities and limited incomes, and subdivisions 5, 5A, 5B, 5C, and 6 of section 467 of the New York State real property tax law exemptions for persons 65 years of age and over, to the extent necessary to permit the governing body of an assessing unit to adopt a resolution directing the assessor to grant exemptions pursuant to section 459C and section 467 of the New York State real property tax law on the 2021 assessment roll to all property owners who receive such exemption on the 2020 assessment roll, thereby dispensing with the need for renewal applications from such persons, and further dispensing with the need for assessors to mail renewed applications to such persons. Whereas the Village of Pleasantville decides to implement the provisions of Executive Order 202.83 for the purposes of its 2021 assessment roll, as set out below, all property owners who receive a tax exemption pursuant to section 459C and section 467 of the New York State real property tax law of the 2020 assessment roll should not be required to submit renewal applications to renew such exemption unless the village assessor believes an owner who qualified for such an exemption on the 2020 assessment roll has since changed his or her primary residence, added another owner to the deed, transferred the property to a new owner, or died, and the village assessor advises such owner in writing that a renewal application is required to be filed with the village assessor by the owner or by all the owners of the property on forms prescribed by the New York State Board of Real Property Services on or before the appropriate taxable status date.
As further stated in the records. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. So as you can see here, there is a section of New York State real property tax law to which we have subscribed that provides a property tax exemption for persons on very limited incomes or with disabilities. There are some folks in that circumstance in our village, and per the governor's executive order, this allows us to forego the usual annual process. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Nicole.
All right. I need to move.
Last resolution of the end of the year.
It is.
Make it good.
Sorry, I need to get this to move so I can see it. All right, hold on just a second. All right, here we go. Whereas introductory local law 7 of 2020 has been introduced to amend chapter A190 of the Code of the Village of Pleasantville to extend the validity of outdoor business area permits past December 31st, 2020. And whereas a public hearing concerning introductory local law 7 of 2020 was held and closed on December 28th, 2020. And now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby adopts local law 5 of 2020.
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? This is a follow-on, as mentioned, to the public hearing that we began at the outset. Just a matter of providing the code backup for outdoor dining in these COVID environment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. All right, that's the last of our regular meeting resolutions. I'll unshare. One more time here in 2020, is there a comment of any kind from the public?
I just want to say that I'll miss Tony Emerson.
I think all of us will. So what I won't miss is 2020. So here we are closing the book on 2020. And I certainly, what 2020 has shown us, which isn't all that surprising, is that folks in Pleasantville band together in difficult times and help one another. And that certainly has been the case throughout our community. And so that's cause for celebration in a moment when or otherwise. Pleased to slam the door on a tough year and look forward to a brighter one in 2021. So we have a brief executive session on matters of personnel. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good evening. Thank you for your attention, not only tonight, but in the course of the year. We will return with our next regular meeting on Monday, January 11, 2021. Thank you all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here. Bye.